Hi, my name is Sarah Stinson, and I am a student advisor at the Undergraduate Research Center on campus. And today I'm going to give you a quick introduction to creating an effective academic poster. So let's go ahead and get started. First, you're going to navigate to our homepage, which is urc.ucdavis.edu. Click on the Conference tab. Scroll down here and you'll see some general information about the conference. But you're going to go over to the right side here for registered presenters and scroll down to the bottom again, and you'll see a tab, Creating an Effective Academic Poster. So these are general resources for any major, any department. It doesn't necessarily have to do with STEM, but all those tips and tricks are useful for STEM style posters as well. So the first tab, you'll see a PowerPoint presentation, and again, these are general tips to give you an idea of why this is useful for you in your career. Great video on how to design a research poster that I recommend you check out, formatting, and then links to some template styles. General design principles is also a good link to start with. This is going to give you information on things to think about when you get started, how to design the storyline and the flow of the poster, as well as appropriate font sizes and fonts. Okay, so if we go back here, you're going to see on the right side, there's a link to some example posters. So this is a great resource to get an idea of what other students have done in past conferences. So let's just click on one here. You'll see up at the top they have a nice large font size. They're including the logos for the organizations that sponsored the research, and it has a pretty logistical layout. So introduction methods, and then some results, a model is included, conclusions and future research, and then acknowledgments. All pretty standard basic information here. So that's a more traditional style of a poster layout. And let's go back here and choose a different example. Maybe something a little less traditionally formatted would be this example. So they focus less on their conclusion and discussion. So this might be something where the work is ongoing. However, they've laid it out again in a very easy to read, logical fashion. So they start you off with why does it matter? So that might be a good thing to think about as well when you're designing this. How do you capture people's attention when they approach your poster? And let's do one more example here at the very bottom. So you'll see at the bottom left of this poster, this presenter has included a nice graphic of a few different research organisms that she discusses in the poster. And this is really useful for capturing your audience. They may not know anything about your subject, but that's a really nice graphic to include if you have the space. So now that we've seen a few examples, let's delve a little bit deeper into the details of how you can make your poster not just effective, but really impressive. So we're going to look at that second link there on the page and go down to how do I make a great poster? The story is at the core of your poster design, so you have to focus on a few highlights. You really can't fit everything you've done in your research into this poster because it's going to be overwhelming to the viewer. So scrolling down here, you can see that the recommendations include just using the best visuals that you've produced, right? So what are the most effective graphs? What are the most effective visuals represented in 2 or 3 main figures that can help you tell the story that you're trying to get across to your audience? Really important, make everything bigger. So all your figures should be clearly labeled so that someone can walk up and without you even telling them could help guide them as to what your poster is trying to say or get across. So scrolling down here. So you want to use at least one high quality image related to your research. This is going to grab people's attention. However, be aware that you should have the rights to use this image, so make sure it's copyright free, preferably something that you've produced yourself. For your title, make sure that it's clearly understandable and makes a statement about what the subject of the poster is. So hopefully not too much jargon in the title, should clearly relate the topic of the research to your audience. and that should be included in a concise and positively framed title using a large typeface. For your data visualizations, again, graphs, pictures, maps, diagrams, you want to be sure that you are using the space effectively. So you don't want overcrowded imagery, you don't want things that aren't clearly labeled, and you want it to be informative. Again, with headings, make sure that they are informative, as short and sweet as possible. And it's easy to get lost in focusing on the details, so think about the big picture. You want your posters to have a cohesive design, so pick your colors, font sizes for the whole poster ahead of time and make sure that they match for the entire poster. There are free templates that you can download, so any of these, you can click on these, you'll get a PowerPoint, a template, or another style of template. Generally speaking, these templates already come with some sort of color palette and font choice that's embedded in that template. So you'll see here, usually they choose 2 or 3 colors at maximum, and good color combinations include orange and blue. So you'll notice like movie posters use a lot of that color palette because it grabs our attention. So that was a very quick overview, and we are excited to see you at the Undergraduate Research Scholarship and Creative Activities Conference, which is now happening May 7th and 8th. Thanks again.